My beauty queen girlfriend, who had accidentally posted the wrong article, suddenly shared a picture. In the picture was a boy eating spicy hot pot to the point of sticking his tongue out. The accompanying caption, "Truly a greedy cat, but what can I do, I can only spoil him." Less than 2 minutes later, our mutual friends were commenting frantically below with hundreds of remarks. "Xiaoya, you forgot to switch accounts." They were worried because everyone knew Su Xiaoya was madly in love with me. She shamelessly pursued me for 4 years, and only after 70 marriage proposals did I agree to marry her. But now, her love was split into 2 halves, one half for me, one half for someone else. I didn't take a screenshot to confront her, nor did I rush to her school to make a scene. I silently deactivated all my accounts. The next day, I packed my bags and quietly left. As for her, early in the morning, she received a barrage of calls from her best friend. "Su Xiaoya, you are truly awful." This sentence stunned Su Xiaoya. "Yi Tian treated you so well, and yet you didn't appreciate it, going off to be ambiguous with another man. Is there something wrong with your head? What wrong did he ever do to you that you trample upon him like this?" Facing Wang Jiao's relentless scolding, Su Xiaoya finally grasped the crux of the matter. A sense of unease surged in her heart, and she abruptly stood up. "What do you mean by that? Tell me clearly." Wang Jiao snorted coldly. "Where are you? Are you still at the hospital with that guy named Zhu Hao? Do you know, the school's social media is about to explode with pictures and videos of the two of you." Su Xiaoya's mind was in total chaos. It was only then that she suddenly remembered she had promised to pick me up, but after taking Zhu Hao to the hospital, she got busy and forgot. She panicked, hung up on Wang Jiao, and unlocked her phone. Immediately, the screen displayed countless missed calls, most of them from me. Su Xiaoya's heart felt as if it were being squeezed by an invisible hand. She hurriedly called back to explain, but her wrist was tightly grasped by Zhu Hao next to her. He held Su Xiaoya's hand tightly, his voice choked with sobs. "Don't go, please don't leave me alone in the hospital. Zhu Hao, stop making a fuss." She both coaxed him and, without hesitation, removed Zhu Hao's hand. "The caretaker will be here soon, you should rest well." As soon as she finished speaking, Su Xiaoya turned and left. Zhu Hao disregarded everything and chased after her from the hospital bed, resulting in him tripping over a chair and sprawling on the floor. Just as she stepped out of the ward, Su Xiaoya stopped short. Immediately after, Zhu Hao's crying voice sounded from behind. "Xiaoya, I'm in so much pain, please don't leave, okay? Please don't abandon me alone. My mother passed away in a hospital, I'm truly terrified. Please don't leave me alone here." Time passed second by second, and I kept staring at the empty chair opposite. 20 minutes passed, then another 20 minutes, and Su Xiaoya still didn't arrive. Was I disappointed? Actually, not really. This was essentially a test for which I already knew the answer. This outcome was not surprising. I had originally intended to say goodbye in person, but in the end, even this final meeting became a luxury. I put on my sunglasses, my finger gently tapping the screen to post that status update. A few minutes later, the social media of Nanhai University completely exploded. Someone screenshot my post with the caption, "Congratulations on being single," and a picture of me smiling brightly and full of pride. The comments section immediately surged. "My male god is finally single. I claim the right to admire this beauty first. Oh my god everyone, the male god is back with us." I let out a sigh of relief, resolutely walked out of the familiar cafe, and called my cousin who was abroad. "Xiao Tian, why did you think of calling me?" Yi Shui saw the incoming number, immediately paused the meeting, and her tone became gentle. "I broke up with her." The gentleness on Yi Shui's face instantly vanished, replaced by gloom. She suppressed her anger, quickly walked out of the conference room. As soon as she entered her office, she couldn't help but kick over a meeting chair. "Are you secretly crying?" I sniffled, and softly uttered a yes. After all, it was a 5-year relationship, crying a little was normal. But from childhood until now, besides when I was a child, who dared to make me shed a single tear? "You won't be able to hide this from your aunt and uncle." I nodded, having no intention of hiding it from them. I tiredly rubbed my forehead. "I called you because I want to ask for a favor." I forced a pleasing smile. "Sister, I have just over 2 months until graduation, and I don't want to stay in Chongqing anymore. Don't you have a branch company in Macau? I want to come to you to find something to do, is that okay?" Yi Shui furrowed her brow. "Security in Macau is much better, but the people there are quite xenophobic. You might not be able to adapt if you go there." But before she could think too much, I resorted to my ultimate move of acting spoiled. Sister, if you don't agree, I'll go on a 3-day hunger strike. My dear ancestor, don't you ever get tired of using this trick? Yi Shue's voice was full of helplessness. I'll just keep using it. Yi Shue was silent for a while, and finally agreed. Alright, I will have someone arrange accommodation for you, but as for your aunt and uncle, you go and explain it yourself. I happily agreed and hung up. Immediately after, I stepped on the gas and drove straight to the airport. Since I had decided to go to Macau, I might as well leave right now to experience the local customs, and I could buy luggage and clothes when I got there. I only sent a message to Aunt Chow, asking her to have someone drive the car back to the villa. After giving all the instructions, I turned off my phone and, relieved, boarded the plane. 4 hours later, Su Xiaoya finally finished comforting Zhu Hao and hurried away from the hospital. Unexpectedly, she then read the news that I had declared myself single. Skeptically, she opened my personal page, but what hit her eyes was a cold blank line. Su Xiaoya was completely stunned. Was I blocked? Or was the account completely deleted? She frantically called me, but only the cold, mechanical female voice rang out on the phone. The number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. She suppressed the last flicker of hope and rushed to the address I had set. However, amidst the crowded stream of people, there was absolutely no sign of me. Su Xiaoya grabbed a staff member, trying to remain calm as she asked, "Excuse me, where is the person who was sitting here? That gentleman sat here for 2 whole hours before he left. He didn't order anything." "Ah, around 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock? Su Xiaoya looked down at her phone. "I posted at 11 o'clock, meaning I arrived on time and waited for her for a full hour." She finally realized that this time, I was truly furious. Su Xiaoya dejectedly returned to her car, her fingers trembling, mechanically dialing my number over and over. After some unknown amount of time, the spare phone on the passenger seat vibrated. Su Xiaoya had no intention of answering the call. She stared blankly at the dark parking lot, her heart feeling like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand. She wanted to drive to my house to wait, but discovered the hand gripping the steering wheel had no strength left. Just as Su Xiaoya was lost in a daze, Wang Jiao's phone call suddenly came through. Like grasping at a life raft, Su Xiaoya's voice was hoarse, and the first sentence she uttered was, "Help me." Wang Jiao on the other end paused for a moment, then sighed helplessly, "Where are you?" After stating her location, Su Xiaoya's emotions finally broke. She whispered painfully, "I can't reach Yi Tian. I truly never expected things to turn out like this. He must be so hurt that he doesn't want to pay attention to me anymore." Wang Jiao was driving over while scoffing, "It's not that you don't understand, it's that you don't want to understand. What part of Yi Tian's treatment of you wasn't good that you hurt him like this? If it weren't for our childhood friendship, since you dared to betray Yi Tian, I would definitely give you a few slaps." Wang Jiao's words were like a knife stabbing into her heart. Su Xiaoya couldn't refute, she only lowered her head and wondered, why betray Yi Tian? When exactly did everything start to change for the worse? Who would have thought that I, a young master from a rich family, would have such cooking talent? Su Xiaoya knew very well, I was excellent at cooking all the dishes she liked. I also never demanded anything or got angry with her like other people. Perhaps because she had never lacked anything since childhood, the lean person in the eyes of others that was Su Xiaoya gradually retracted all her sharpness when she was in front of me. Thus, when Zhu Hao, with a completely opposite personality, appeared, Su Xiaoya's heart became disordered. Zhu Hao seemed approachable but his temperament was very stubborn. Even though she rejected him many times, when he was injured, he was still like a little boy, shedding all defenses, stubbornly approaching her, searching for a response again and again. Even if he only received a small bit of pity from her, he could be as happy as a child given candy. Compared to me, a person without desires, Zhu Hao was truly too easy to satisfy. She didn't know when, but this unprecedented feeling of achievement made her stop resisting Zhu Hao's proactive advances. Her heart began to waver, she started lying to me, and began spending more and more time with Zhu Hao. Su Xiaoya had never realized her own meanness and depravity as clearly as she did right now. She helplessly slumped over the driver's seat, not even daring to face her own despicable self. When Wang Jiao arrived, she saw her friend's half-dead appearance. Smelling the faint disinfectant on Su Xiaoya, Wang Jiao frowned and covered her nose. "You're not planning to wear these dirty clothes to go see Yi Tian, are you?" Su Xiaoya's lips curled into a bitter smile. I'll clean myself up thoroughly before I go look for him. Seeing her friend in that state, Wang Jiao also couldn't bear to say anything more. She took Su Xiaoya to a hotel to wash up thoroughly before going to my house. The result was that the two of them waited outside my house for half an hour, but no one answered. Su Xiaoya could only harden her face and use her fingerprint to unlock the door, but as soon as her finger was placed on the pad, the screen displayed a failed recognition notification. Su Xiaoya's heart sank. She was about to try again when Aunt Chao's voice rang out from behind. She turned around. Aunt Chao. Aunt Chao asked, "You came to look for Yi Tian? I know the young master has gone traveling, he's not home lately, and I don't know when he'll be back. Tomorrow I also have to go abroad for a while, so you don't need to come again after this." Su Xiaoya's voice was hoarse. "Aunt, could you help me call Yi Tian? I urgently need to find him, I beg you for help." Aunt Chao looked at her pained expression, only shaking her head helplessly. "I truly can't help you. If I displease the young master, people will ostracize him. Miss Su, you and the young master have known each other for so many years, you should understand his personality. What terrible thing did you do to make my young master so heartbroken? He has never suffered any grievance from childhood until now, yet you made him cry. You are truly too much, such a disappointment." Yi Tian cried. Su Xiaoya's throat felt constricted, and only after a long while could she utter those few words. When the large door slammed shut before her eyes, the last tears finally rolled down from her red-rimmed eyes. Her fists were clenched so tightly that her fingers were white, and she had absolutely no idea what to do. The announcement echoed on the plane, "Passengers have arrived in Macau. The journey to explore Macau's scenery is about to begin." The lights had just turned on, and the night view of Alpha Port was truly charming. I stretched, twisted my tired back, put on my sunglasses, and got off the plane. As soon as I left the cabin, a blast of air completely different from Chongqing hit my face. Even the wind carried the salty taste of the sea. I refused the flight attendant's offer to accompany me, and walked towards the exit alone. This flight was quite crowded. I didn't take the VIP path, so the exit was a bit congested, but my mood wasn't bad. Until the crowd not far away suddenly stirred, and then a piercing scream tore through the silence. I gently pulled down the frame of my glasses, frowned and looked ahead, only to see a girl around 20 years old clutching her chest, her panicked eyes filling with tears. Opposite her was a man in a suit, about 30 years old, carrying a briefcase, looking like a pretentious intellectual. The man wasn't panicked at all, on the contrary, he calmly smirked and explained, "Excuse me everyone, it's too crowded here, I accidentally brushed against her a little, I didn't expect her to react so strongly, sorry for the trouble." But the girl appeared extremely wronged. "It wasn't the first time you touched me. On the plane, he deliberately touched my body. You are a pervert, and before that, you were pretending to be proper." After hearing this, the man immediately curled his lip into a sarcastic sneer. "Little sister, words can't just be spoken carelessly. I've met the type of woman who likes to draw attention before, dressed the way you are. Was I truly harboring ill intentions toward you, or do you want to use this opportunity to attract attention? On the plane, you tried every way to ask for my contact number but were flatly refused by me. I truly didn't expect you to look so innocent yet have such a vengeful heart." But the girl appeared extremely wronged. "It wasn't the first time you touched me. On the plane, he deliberately touched my body. You are a pervert, and before that, you were pretending to be proper." After hearing this, the man immediately curled his lip into a sarcastic sneer. "Little sister, words can't just be spoken carelessly. I've met the type of woman who likes to draw attention before, dressed the way you are. Was I truly harboring ill intentions toward you, or do you want to use this opportunity to attract attention? On the plane, you tried every way to ask for my contact number but were flatly refused by me. I truly didn't expect you to look so innocent yet have such a vengeful heart. Clearly, you wanted to take advantage of me." Anyone hearing this would be annoyed. The flight attendant on the plane can testify. It was precisely because I couldn't stand being harassed by you that I proactively asked to switch seats. How can this person be so shameless? I took out my phone, took a picture and sent it to security, then walked toward the two people arguing. A cold, resolute voice interrupted the man. "Hey kid, I advise you to stay out of other people's business." I took off my sunglasses. The girl was momentarily stunned, then subconsciously reached out with both hands to shield me. I did not turn my head, but used the gaze I had already fixed on the man to scrutinize him from head to toe, then laughed disdainfully. Hey, uncle, take a look at yourself. With just your face, even if this little girl were blind, she'd have nightmares for 3 days. And you dare to say she wanted to attract others. Are you worthy? She is young and beautiful, and you are like a pile of fat. Is there any part of your body that could attract anyone else? I, however, am different. I earn tens of thousands a month, all brand names. If she didn't dress like that to seduce me, then what for? Nowadays, if a girl dresses nicely, she's condemned. It's truly ridiculous. The man was speechless, his face pale, but he was confused by my unreasonable logic and couldn't refute it. Kid, let me tell you, this is Macau, not the mainland. I advise you to stay out of other people's business, or else, he warned in a low voice. Or else what? I'm standing right here today, either you apologize and leave, or, my gaze turned cold. I hadn't originally intended to strike, but now he had provoked me too much. I launched a kick, accompanied by a fierce shout. The man's yelling instantly stopped. I circled around behind him and added another kick to his knee. Hearing only a thud, the man collapsed to the ground and screamed miserably, "You bastard!" The man tried to suppress the pain and crawl up to fight back, but airport security personnel, who had received the notification, rushed over and surrounded them. Sir, what are you going to do? Seeing the security personnel rushing over, the girl's, Shen Yashin's, suspended heart did not ease. On the contrary, she anxiously tugged at my sleeve. Thank you so much, but please let me handle what comes next. After all, I struck first. You should hurry and go. Just at this moment, from the VIP lounge not far away, a pair of eyes was observing the entire incident. A girl with red wine-colored hair, Zhang Qiu, widened her mouth in surprise. This kid's mouth is really sharp, quite formidable, but there will be trouble next. Another girl on the sofa raised her head, glanced at me, and said, striking someone at Macau airport can be a big deal or a small one. If that man refuses to let it go, he might have to spend a few days inside. A flicker of a smile passed through Sun Shi's long, cold eyes. He doesn't need help. Tang Yueling frowned, about to ask more, when she saw the young man not far away make a phone call. After a few words, the security captain with a walkie-talkie respectfully invited me outside to handle the matter. As soon as I left, they immediately dragged the man who was kneeling on the ground, in too much pain to stand up, away to the outside area. Sun Shi glanced at Tang Yueling's dumbfounded expression, thought for a moment, and said, that kid had a dedicated escort when he got off the plane, and to be treated with such respect by the staff, it's not just a matter of money, he definitely has another background. It's just surprising that Macau has such a figure and we didn't know anything about him. Sister Sun, do you need to have someone investigate? Tang Yueling asked. Sun Shi shook her head, no need. Better to let sleeping dogs lie, investigating might offend him instead. As soon as I left the airport, I looked at the girl constantly trailing behind me, feeling a bit helpless. Is there anything else? I asked. Her eyes sparkling, full of admiration. Can I buy you a meal? I'm hungry too. Sure. Do you often eat out in Macau? So. I study here, so you can relax. Let's find somewhere to eat, I'm hungry now. She immediately nodded and ran to the roadside to call a cab. My surname is Shen, and my name is Shen Yashin. I nodded, hello, I am Yi Tian. Her expression was one of intense admiration, you are truly formidable. I have never won an argument, as soon as I open my mouth, I feel like crying. I smirked, what a coincidence. I have never lost an argument. Her admiration grew, and she asked again, are you still studying? Are you graduating from university this month? She smiled, courteously opened the car door for me. Please, Brother Tian. This girl Shen Yashin's personality was not annoying. In the car, we exchanged contact information. My phone continuously received calls, but I ignored them all. Shen Yashin was very thoughtful, didn't ask much, but instead enthusiastically introduced Macau. Brother Tian, you definitely must visit street number 7. There's no shortage of food, drinks, and entertainment, especially the bar at the end of the street. It has lots of handsome men and beautiful women. I secretly took note of the places that interested me. Getting out of the car and entering the restaurant, as soon as we sat down, Shen Yashin looked around. She suddenly lowered her voice, her expression becoming extremely serious. In Macau, Brother Tian only needs to pay attention to one thing. When you go out, if you encounter anyone from the Sun family, try hard not to provoke them. Shen Yashin could tell my identity wasn't simple, but she still kindly reminded me, it's best not to provoke people with great power. The Sun family in Macau currently rules their own domain. I smiled, don't worry, I'll be careful. Hearing this, she was reassured and left. After saying goodbye to Shen Yashin, I stood alone on the street. The lamplight was antique, and the cold wind blew through the cracks. I was only wearing a thin t-shirt, and the wind blew so cold it made me shiver, immediately clearing my head. By the time I checked into the hotel, it was already 8 in the evening, and my phone was almost out of battery because of the continuous calls. I charged my phone while calling my father, Yi Zha. The call connected immediately. Yi Tian, have you arrived? Dad asked. I just arrived at the hotel, Dad, I'm so tired, I miss you and Mom, I replied, my voice sounding weary even to myself. I almost never acted spoiled, unless I was genuinely suffering a huge grievance. Dad's voice immediately became serious, then Mom and I will return to the country tomorrow to be with you. Mom's voice sounded right after, sending me a kiss through the phone, my darling, with Mom and Dad here, no one can bully you. We worked so hard precisely so you would have support, as long as you don't violate the law, we support whatever you want to do. My dad added a witty remark, dating is fine too, I'll support you for life. I thought to myself, just based on a few words, it was clear they already knew about Su Xiaoya's infidelity. The girl who betrayed me had not learned any of her own father's loyalty. But I just took a deep breath and tried to sound relaxed, I'll still find a girlfriend. I won't be afraid of the rope for 10 years just because I was bitten by a snake once. She's just one girl. There are so many beauties in this world, the reason I didn't feel tempted before was that I only liked Su Xiaoya. I was her boyfriend. Now the feelings are gone, and the status is gone. If I don't enjoy single life, I truly am a pig. Hearing these words, my mom immediately agreed, you are right, your conditions are so good, there's no shortage of outstanding women. I nodded repeatedly, talked for a while, and didn't know when I had fallen asleep. My breathing was steady, and I slept soundly. Waking up in the morning, I groggily held my phone, saw the call was still connected, I felt warmth in my heart. My parents found my voice so hoarse it was strange. On the other end of the line, Yi Zhou was in his office. He signaled everyone to leave, his voice becoming soft, my darling, are you awake? Yes. I crawled out of bed, drew the curtains, and looked at the choppy sea outside the window. I opened the glass door, stretched, are you at the company, Dad? That's right, Dad's voice carried a smile. Mom went shopping for you, and she'll send the things over later. Do you want them sent to Chongqing or Macau? Macau. I already told my older sister, if possible, I'm going to stay in Macau. Alright, send the address to Dad when you send it. I lowered my head and sniffed yesterday's clothes again, frowning in disgust, I'm going to take a shower now. Okay. Don't put the phone on silent. If anything happens, call Mom and Dad, we always love you, Yi Zhu instructed. My heart warmed. Thank you, Dad. I'm hanging up now. Goodbye. The moment the phone hung up, another call came in. Although it was an unknown number, I guessed who it was. Su Xiaoya. I stared at the screen, my trembling finger pressed to answer the call. Just as she thought I wouldn't answer, the call connected. A tiny, almost inaudible sob. Her voice was dry, as if she was about to cry, careful with every tiny word, as if I were fragile glass. I could imagine her disheveled hair and red, swollen eyes right now, but even if I saw her, I wouldn't care. I quietly scoffed, aren't you tired? 200 missed calls, it's a miracle your phone hasn't broken. She immediately lowered her voice in a pleading tone, dear, where are you? I'll come find you, can we talk clearly? That tone was so familiar, an image flashed through my mind, the time I was severely burned and hospitalized, my arm wrapped in gauze, and I refused to see anyone. At that time, Su Xiaoya stood outside the ward door, her voice gentle and cautious, telling me about the graduation ceremony I had missed, telling stories that made me laugh. When I opened the door, her smiling face suddenly froze when she saw my arm wrapped in bandages, and then seeing the blood seeping through, she blushed, her lips trembled, she raised her hand wanting to touch but didn't dare for fear of hurting me. Her voice was full of self-reproach and pain, tears streamed down. Conversely, I acted as if nothing was wrong, smiling to comfort her. Come on, we've been friends since childhood, I couldn't just let you die. Thinking back now, I don't know where I found such great courage to actually rush into the fire and carry her out of there. Even when the burning curtain fell, I subconsciously tilted my body to shield her. The curtain caught my sleeve, and the fire instantly licked at my skin. Logically, I should have immediately taken off my shirt to save myself, but I was afraid that after putting her down, I wouldn't have the courage to carry her again. Almost without thinking, I simply endured the burning pain in my arm, carrying her out in one breath. The moment I rushed out of the fire, I tossed her to the adults who ran over, then frantically tore off the clothes on my body, but it was still too late. From my arm to my neck, a patch of skin was ripped open, miserably bloody. Conversely, because she was wearing a t-shirt, she only suffered a small burn patch on the part of her bicep that rested on my shoulder. That small patch alone made her hurt so much she couldn't sleep all night. That was why when she saw the miserable wounds on my body, she felt so much self-reproach. But so what? Time had changed, the young woman whose eyes were only fixed on me had long since died. I pulled my thoughts back, sighing in a mature way. What does she want to tell me? How should she tell me? She was secretly seeing Zhu Hao and also wants to tell me how stimulating their clandestine relationship was? Or does she want to say that even though she cheated, Yi Tian is still the person she loves most? In the end, I felt nauseous, my stomach churning. Su Xiaoya, your apology means nothing to me. Su Xiaoya immediately panicked. Yi Tian, nothing happened between me and Zhu Hao, it was just a hug. Honestly. She even tried to sob to justify herself. Don't rush to judge me, can you give me a chance? Hearing her nearly broken voice, I only found it amusing. There was only one thought in my mind, the one who can't let go is her. What a massive joke. Without another word, I directly hung up. After that, she tried to call again, but only the busy signal rang on the phone. The next second, another unknown number called. I frowned. If I hadn't promised my parents, the phone would have been turned off long ago. I switched to airplane mode, the world immediately became quiet. I ordered a few sets of clothes and shoes online, entered the hotel address, and then went into the bathroom to wash up. About an hour later, I looked like a new person. The first thing I did after leaving the hotel was go to a telecommunications store to get a new SIM card. I sent the new number to my parents, and then temporarily suspended the use of the old SIM. With everything done, my mood immediately lightened. I found a decent place to eat. When night fell, after spending the afternoon lounging around the hotel, I stepped out under the sunset. The sea breeze blew gently, and I took a taxi to the place Shen Yashin had introduced, street number 7. I strolled along, walking straight to the end of the street. Night had fallen, the brilliant signs on both sides of the street created a splendor entirely different from Chongqing. I stood in front of a bar entrance, looking up at the ancient gate paved with bluestone. With a glance, I immediately understood why Shen Yashin hadn't mentioned the bar's name. This place didn't even have a sign. If she hadn't introduced it, I wouldn't have gone in even if I passed by 100 times. I curled my lips and stepped into the immense hall. The interior was completely different from the ancient gate outside. The furnishings were extremely luxurious, the floor paved with high-grade white marble. I stood at the entrance observing. In just a few seconds, countless eyes were drawn toward me. A few people at the bar lowered their voices, nudging each other. The bar was crowded, but when I appeared, all eyes focused on my location. A man opposite me, with brown curly hair and sharp features, still looked very attractive under the lights. His curled eyelashes moved slightly, his gaze sweeping across the hall as if searching for something. In less than a few minutes, a staff member approached and politely asked, "Excuse me, sir, how may I help you?" I slightly curved my lips. "Hello, I want to meet the person in charge of the bar." The man thought for a moment and replied in Mandarin, "There are several people in charge of the bar, we will lead you to whoever you are looking for." I said casually, "The one who makes decisions will do." The man assessed my demeanor, seeing that I was composed and different from ordinary guests, so he smiled, led the way, and asked, "Are you visiting Macau for tourism? How long will you stay?" I nodded, my smile gentle yet distant. "It depends on fate." He took out his phone. "May I have your contact information? If you need anything, just call me." I accepted the QR code, my expression unchanged, calmly added him as a friend using a secondary account, then scanned the code, and immediately switched back to my main account, performing the action smoothly right in front of him. The corner of his mouth twitched, but he understood that my attitude was somewhat cold, so he just led me to the bar counter and left. Being left like that, I didn't care. I turned to the bartender and said, "Please call the manager for me." He gave a professional smile. "Please wait a moment." In less than a few minutes, a girl with vibrant red hair and the bartender approached. I was sitting on a high stool, sipping my drink, and saw her yawn as she walked over. When she saw my face clearly, her heart seemed to stop. It was an unexpected coincidence. She leaned against the counter and said, "Handsome, looking for me?" Her tone was natural, without pretense. I said, "I want a seat near the sea, at the end of street number 7. That was the golden spot of the bar, where one could both enjoy the sea view and gain a bit of quiet amidst the hustle and bustle, my old habit. Tang Yueling, looking intrigued, glanced over. "Your request is truly domineering. Do you want to occupy the entire area?" I glanced at her, then took a black card from my pocket, beckoning toward her. "Could you hold on to this card for me?" Tang Yueling looked at the card on my fingertip, grinned, snatched the card, and tossed it to the waiter behind her. "How much space do you want cleared?" she asked. "Within 20 meters is fine." With the agreement settled, Tang Yueling signaled, and someone immediately went to clear the area. Not long after, I was led to the window seat and the entire bar focused their eyes on me again. I casually tilted my head to look at the night view, letting the sea breeze ruffle my hair, creating a picturesque scene. In an instant, news of a gorgeous man appearing at bar number 7 spread throughout the friend groups in Macau. "Sister Tang, why did you agree to that person's request? The bar isn't short on money." A staff member wondered. Tang Yueling glanced at him, recalled my appearance at the airport, cold, carefree, and replied cryptically, "I'm afraid he'll scold me." The person was stunned, thinking to himself, "Is there really someone on Macau soil who dares to scold the eldest miss of the Tang family?" Tang Yueling merely smiled, saying nothing more. She took 2 steps into the elevator up to the 2nd floor, then charged straight into the private room where her friends usually gathered, completely ignoring the 2 sets of eyes she had disturbed. She secretly asked, "Guess who I just met downstairs?" Yang Wei was startled by her, quickly picked up an apple from the table and threw it over. "Are you crazy?" Tang Yueling reacted very quickly, firmly catching the apple, conveniently putting it in her mouth, and said indistinctly, "Guess quickly, I guarantee you won't be able to figure it out." Yang Wei was too lazy to pay attention. Tang Yueling turned to pester Sun Shuyi, who was engrossed in playing on her tablet. "Sister Sun, you guess." Sun Shuyi merely raised her eyelids slightly, saying nothing. Tang Yueling angrily bit hard into the apple, then slumped onto the sofa, sighing. The room was silent, no one replied, and Tang Yueling couldn't hold back anymore, shouting, "There's an absolutely gorgeous man sitting downstairs, and he conveniently helps the bar attract customers." Sun Shuyi remained indifferent, only Yang Wei irritably rolled her eyes. "If there's something to say it quickly, don't beat around the bush." Tang Yueling snorted coldly. Although she was itching to brag, she held back and lay still on the sofa. The 3 of them had only flown back to Macau last night, and hadn't had time to rest before being busy. Thinking back, following Sun Shuyi now was even more tiring than before. She yawned, and soon fell asleep. The room became quiet. About half an hour later, Yang Wei tapped her shoulder to wake her up to go downstairs for a meal. Tang Yueling yawned, and followed the 2 out of the room. Just out in the hallway, she saw Sun Shuyi with one hand in her pocket, standing by the railing, her eyes lowered, looking into the distance. Following her gaze, Tang Yueling suddenly remembered, "Sister Sun, I forgot to mention, that area has been reserved by that kid. The bar counter we usually sit at is also within the 20-meter radius he cleared." Yang Wei frowned. "Was the nonsense you were talking earlier about that boy?" Tang Yueling smiled radiantly. "He's even more handsome today than yesterday." Yang Wei sneered. "He's certainly glowing." At this moment, 1/3 of the hall's customers were lined up in front of my table. Those not queuing were also watching intently. Many girls were watching. I generally didn't refuse anyone, as long as they dared to line up and had a decent figure, they could sit opposite me for a game. If they won, they gained prestige. If they lost, they bought a round of drinks for the entire bar. The rules were simple: an unopened deck of playing cards, one game to determine the winner. If I won, I would take the opponent's contact information. If they lost, the opponent bought a round of drinks for the entire bar. The alcohol wasn't too expensive, but the large crowd added up to a considerable bill, and more importantly, it meant losing face. The rules immediately filtered out players. Those lacking confidence and capital dared not step forward. The queue wasn't short but moved quickly. A hot, heavily made-up girl sat opposite me with suggestive eyes, trying to use her charm to affect me. I was too lazy to raise my eyelids. My finger opened the card. The opponent was a chess piece, and I was the dominant piece. An apology no longer held any meaning. I signaled the waiter to record another round of drinks. The girl's smile froze, and she stood up in annoyance and left. Next was a man wearing branded clothing, with an expensive watch on his wrist, his eyes full of competition. He drew his card forcefully, as if praying for luck. I casually flipped my card, Ace of Clubs. The man's face changed color, glancing at my hands as if looking for evidence of cheating. Finally, subtly prompted by the staff, he gloomily stood up to settle the bill. I was like an emotionless card-dealing machine. Whether the opponent was male or female, the initial excitement eventually subsided. Winning continuously, the liquor bill soared, but the number of my friends did not increase. The crowd gradually transitioned from cheering to silence, their eyes showing hesitation and respect. This man was too steady. It wasn't due to luck but rather overwhelming, absolute control. He didn't care who won, he was just killing time. A silent power is often scarier than ostentation. On the second floor, Yang Wei crossed her arms, looking at the scene downstairs. He didn't come for fun, he came to cause a scene in the bar. Tang Yuling held an unlit cigarette in her mouth, saying, "Is he short on money? I'm just curious, what does he want to do?" Sun Shui didn't speak, her cold gaze fixed on me, her finger unconsciously stroking her phone. The image of the man acting decisively at the airport and the one causing a disturbance here shared similarities, disjointed yet forming a unified impression. Just then, a voice cut in, "Get out of the way, what are you gathering here for?" Several muscular men in floral shirts pushed through the crowd, approaching my table. The leader had a buzz cut, wore a thick gold chain, his hands were tattooed, and he reeked of alcohol and perfume. He glanced at me, then at the staff member recording the bills, and laughed, showing off a gold tooth. "This kid knows how to gamble too, huh? How dare you set your rules on my territory?" I coldly lifted my face. "Your territory has nothing to do with me." The bald man slammed the table, making the glasses rattle. "Everyone on this street number 7 knows who I am. Did you ask for my permission to pull this stunt here? Boys, treat our brother Hu to a few drinks, and it's settled." The crowd backed away, many people were scared. The waiter's face changed color, he wanted to intervene but hesitated, signaling the manager. From the second floor, Tang Yuling frowned. "Which bastard dares to cause trouble in my place?" She was about to go down when Sun Shui raised a hand to stop her. "Let's watch a bit more." Yang Wei frowned. "Let's see how they handle things downstairs." I placed the glass down, the bottom of the cup loudly hitting the marble tabletop. "The bar is open for business, I am a customer," I said calmly. "My rules, you can play by them or leave." "As for your rules, what are they?" The corner of my mouth curled up, carrying mockery. Brother Hu was furious, raising his hand to grab my collar. "Today I will teach you the rules of Macau." My eyes were cold. As his hand touched me, I struck first. My right hand was like a coiling snake, gripping his wrist tightly and pulling hard. Brother Hu roared like a pig being slaughtered. He was dragged stumbling forward, his plump body losing balance, collapsing to his knees. He felt his wrist was tightly clamped, the pain making him scream piercingly. Brother Hu let go of his hand. The subordinates behind him hesitated upon seeing this, not daring to rush forward. My left hand reached for a nearly full bottle of Western liquor on the table, and without looking, I threw it straight toward the first person who rushed forward. The bottle shattered completely right in front of the person's feet, the amber liquor and glass shards splattered, frightening the subordinates into backing away. The entire bar shuddered in a moment of silence. The background music continued to play indifferently. I tightly gripped Hu Jiyi's wrist, slowly stood up, and looked down at his face contorted with pain. Want to teach me rules? My voice wasn't loud but echoed throughout the place. Are you even worthy? Hu Jiyi broke out in a cold sweat, his mouth still spewing obscenities, his hand attempting to resist. I tightened my grip on the artery in his wrist even more. The curses turned into groans, his body went limp, losing all strength. I released my hand as if flicking away dust, then took a tissue to wipe the grime off my hand that had just touched him. Hu Jiyi slumped onto the ground, panting, his eyes showing fear. I glanced at the trembling subordinates and coldly uttered one word, scram. Those men acted as if they had received a general pardon, quickly helped Hu Jiyi up, and squeezed through the crowd to flee, not daring to utter another threat. The drama began abruptly, and ended even faster. I sat back down, ignoring the astonished, worshipful, and frightened gazes, and waved to the manager who had just run over. It's fine, carry on. The waiter was momentarily stunned but complied. The queuing crowd was silent for a few seconds, then erupted into an even stronger surge of enthusiasm than before. If the beginning was just curiosity, now there was added admiration. Anywhere, true power is always the best pass. I still won more than I lost. The pile of liquor bills in front of me stacked up into a small mountain. On the second floor, Tang Yueling's eyes lit up. He's got moves, fast and vicious, he must have trained. Yang Wei also nodded in praise. The speed of reaction, strength, and ruthlessness were not the acts of a mere amateur. Sun Shuyi, who seemed to have restored order downstairs, had a fleeting glint of vague interest in her eyes. She secretly took a side profile photo of me and opened a chat window to make a note, investigative data repository. Location, bar number 2, Macau. Male, about 21 years old, height 1.87 m plus outstanding looks, skilled fighter, strong personality, good economic conditions. Suspected surname Yi, name possibly Tian or a homophone. The person in the group replied, acknowledged. Sister Sun, we will report if there is any news. In the next game, a short-haired girl opposite me drew the ace of hearts. She looked at me nervously, then shouted in delight, taking out her phone to call her friend. I opened the QR code of the secondary account for her to scan and add as a friend. The interface was blank but she didn't ask much, satisfied to leave with a smile. I stood up, signaling the staff, this liquor is on me for everyone. I pointed at the stack of liquor bills. The staff and those around were stunned. The amount I paid, combined with the liquor bought by the losers, far exceeded normal consumption. I just raised my hand, said one sentence, and left. Before anyone could react, I had walked out of the bar. Tall and straight, I calmly walked out the gate, disappearing into the night. Inside the bar, there was silence for a moment, then an explosion of cheers and chatter. He's too handsome. So cool, so generous. The salty sea breeze blew on my face, carrying away the lingering smell of smoke and alcohol. The night in Macau had just begun. I put my hands in my pockets, walked along street number 7, enjoying the atmosphere, which was completely different from Chongqing. My phone vibrated, a message from Shen Yashin, Brother Tian, are you at bar number 2? My friends said they saw a super handsome guy, the description sounds just like you. I smiled, replying, yep, just left. Next message, it really was you. Too bad I wasn't there. I heard you even taught Brother Hu and those thugs a lesson, you're so cool. Are you okay? I replied, I'm fine. She asked again, do you have any plans for tomorrow? Let me be your guide, I know lots of fun places in Macau. I thought about it and replied, we'll see. Putting away my phone, I walked to the roadside intending to hail a cab back to the hotel when a black Lamborghini pulled up. The window lowered, the driver was a middle-aged woman in a business suit, wearing white gloves, her hair neatly tied back, my cousin Yi Shue's assistant. She bowed politely, young Master Yi Tian, the eldest miss sent me to pick you up. Your accommodation has been arranged, would you like to go there right away? I recognized Sister Wu, my cousin's very professional assistant. I opened the door and got into the back seat. I apologize for the trouble, Sister Wu. You are too polite, it's my job, Sister Wu replied, starting the engine smoothly. The eldest miss instructed, during your stay in Macau, this car and I will be at your service. Your old phone number seems to have been suspended, and the eldest miss was a bit worried since she couldn't contact you. I changed my number, I'll send it to you later. Yes, young master. The car glided away from street number 7, merging into the dazzling lights of Macau. I watched the city lights rush by, feeling an unusual sense of peace. Su Xiaoya, the matters in Chongqing now seemed like affairs of a past life. At the same time in Chongqing, Su Xiaoya lay in her room, neither eating nor sleeping, looking haggard. Her shattered phone screen lay on the floor, scattered photos, mostly pictures of me and her together, and a few candid shots of Zhu Hao embracing her. She tried every way to contact me, but the villa was shut tight, Aunt Chow was cold. The news that I broke up and left spread at school. She didn't dare to attend class, fearing glances of pity or ridicule. Zhu Hao continued to message and call, complaining about his fears, dependence, and love, making her sometimes feel needed. Now hearing it, she only felt annoyance and disgust. Wang Jiao visited once, said, "Sort yourself out," and left. Su Xiaoya looked into the mirror, seeing her haggard face, and clearly understood for the first time that she had lost me, the one who had sheltered her since childhood, rushed into the flames for her, and deliberately concealed all his sharp edges to cherish her for 5 years. Her heart felt as if it were being pricked by needles, hurting to the point of suffocation. She regretted it, truly regretted it, but it seemed to be too late. At Bay number 5, Macau, a sea-facing villa awaited me. Assistant Wu handed over the keys and access card, reporting that living essentials were fully prepared. Housekeepers would come to clean on time but would not intrude. Please get some rest. The matter of the Macau branch company is not urgent. You can look into it when you're settled, the eldest miss instructed. I nodded, understood, please thank her for me. After the assistant left, I surveyed the villa, minimalist modern decor, with a direct view of a private beach and the endless ocean. I took a shower, changed into comfortable clothes, and stepped onto the balcony. In the dead of night, the sound of the waves was steady. I took a deep breath of the sea air, feeling both my body and spirit much more relaxed. The phone rang again, this time an unknown number from the mainland. I frowned, guessing it was still Su Xiaoya or Zhu Hao. I was too lazy to answer, directly hung up, and then blocked the number. The world immediately returned to quiet. I sent a message to my cousin Yishui to report that I was safe, along with a new house address and a few photos from my parents. My dad quickly replied, "It's beautiful, it looks even more pleasing to the eye than the one I bought you in Chongqing. Just enjoy yourself, tell dad if you need money." My mom immediately video called, and as soon as she saw the sea view behind me, she repeatedly praised how beautiful it was, then instructed me for a long time to pay attention to safety. Finally, she lowered her voice and said, "My darling, I heard that things have been chaotic at the Su family's place these past few days. That girl Su Xiaoya seems to be sick." "Humph, serves her right. You must not be soft-hearted." I burst out laughing, "You're overthinking it, Mom. I no longer feel love or hatred for her, she's just like a stranger to me." Ending the call, I lay stretched out on the balcony chair, listening to the sound of the waves. I didn't know when, but I had fallen asleep. I slept very well tonight, not dreaming of the past, nor dreaming of anyone. The next morning, I was woken up by the sunlight and the sound of seagulls. Looking at the clock, it was almost noon. I quickly ate the breakfast prepared by the housekeeper, changed into sportswear, and decided to go for a run on the beach. Running along the private beach, the salty sea breeze blew across my face. My mood was relaxed like never before. Returning after the run, I took a shower. On my phone, there was an unread message from Shen Yashin, "Brother Tian, good morning sun with face. The weather is super nice today. Wanna go try some authentic Macau morning tea? I know an old school spot, the taste is super delicious." I replied concisely, "Send me the address." She immediately sent the location, followed by a string of happy emojis. I took a taxi to the address. The restaurant was located on a small old street. The storefront wasn't large but it was crowded, mostly with locals. Shen Yashin had arrived first, sitting by the window. Seeing me from a distance, she waved frantically, "Brother Tian, over here." Today I wore a simple white t-shirt, gray sports pants, my hair slightly messy naturally, looking both comfortable and neat. Walking in, I attracted quite a few glances. I've already ordered a few signature dishes: ha gao, siu mai, chicken feet, golden sand buns, preserved egg and minced pork congee, she said excitedly, pointing to the table full of steaming dim sum. Do you want to order anything else? That's enough, I replied, sitting down opposite her. The food was indeed delicious, authentic in flavor. Shen Yashin chatted chirpily while eating, about the origins of the dim sum dishes, and interesting stories about Macau. I mostly listened, occasionally replying with a few sentences. Brother Tian, yesterday at the bar, you were truly too cool. All my friends were talking about you. Now you are the unsolved mystery among Macau's rich circle. She looked at me, her eyes sparkling. I raised an eyebrow. Unsolved mystery? That's right. Handsome, skilled fighter, rich, and mysterious. No one can trace any information about you. It's as if you fell from the sky. Shen Yashin lowered her voice, speaking more softly. Even Sun Shui of the Sun family seems to have noticed you. My hand holding the chopsticks paused slightly. Sun Shui? The person Shen Yashin had warned me to be careful of. She nodded. That's right, she practically controls the Sun family now. Her methods are high level, but she is cold and difficult to approach. Someone saw her on the second floor of bar number 2 yesterday. I just responded with an and didn't ask further. To me, whether it was the Sun family or the Li family, as long as they didn't actively cause trouble, it was none of my concern. After eating, Shen Yashin enthusiastically offered to take me sightseeing at nearby tourist spots. I refused. I want to wander around by myself. She was slightly disappointed, but still smiled brightly. All right then, Brother Tian, call me if anything happens. After parting ways, I wandered alone around the old quarter, feeling the atmosphere which was completely different from the modern center. Passing through an intersection, while waiting for the red light, I inadvertently saw the display window of an art gallery across the street. Inside was an oil painting, depicting a sunflower field ablaze, vibrant yellow mixed with deep crimson, evoking a feeling between destruction and eruption. My steps halted. This style. I remember clearly, Su Xiaoya used to be obsessed with oil paintings. The artist she admired the most had a very similar style, Song Feng. She once insisted that I buy her a piece from his early phase. I did not agree. Later she asked Zhu Hao and actually got a small piece. The corner of my mouth curled up coldly. Honestly, no matter where I go, I run into old memories. I withdrew my gaze, turned around, and walked in a different direction. On the second floor of the art gallery, a young man wearing a linen shirt, with a few paint streaks still on him, stood by the window watching my retreating back. He held a brush, his eyes sharp as a knife. Boss, the painting the sky. The employee just opened his mouth when he interrupted. The man who just looked at the painting, do you know him? The employee looked in that direction, only seeing a tall, straight figure disappearing around the corner. I don't know him, never met him. Should I go investigate? Song Feng shook his head, but his gaze remained fixed on the direction where I vanished, a flicker of interest shining in his eyes. No need. I already know who he is. Although only a fleeting glance, he was certain that this was the man from bar number 2 last night, the one who made his arrogant junior sister Sun Shi specifically send people to investigate. Yi Tian, Song Feng murmured softly, the corner of his mouth curving up. I didn't expect to meet him here, and he even seemed interested in my painting. He stroked the brush, displaying a meaningful smile. It looks like Macau is about to become interesting. I was unaware that I had been noticed by a stranger. Tired from walking, I found a small coffee shop, sat under an umbrella, and ordered an iced coffee. Before I could drink it, a young man in a delivery uniform approached. Excuse me, are you Yi Tian? I slightly raised an eyebrow. That's me. There's a package for you, please sign for it. He handed me a flat cardboard box, beautifully wrapped. I was slightly surprised. In Macau, besides my cousin, no one knew my address, and my cousin would not send something this way. After signing, I opened the box. No card, no sender's name. Inside was the oil painting the sky, the very painting of the burning sunflowers that I had just seen across the street. A wave of heat and incomprehension spread through me. I frowned, my gaze turning cold. Having only stopped for less than a minute, this painting had been bought and sent directly to my hands. Clearly, I was being watched. And the opposition was not small in power, at least in this area. Their intelligence network was very effective. The first person I thought of was Sun Shui. Shen Yashin once said, "The Sun family has great power in Macau." But I had never met her. Why would she send me an expensive painting? To curry favor, or to warn me? It could also be Song Feng, the strange, arrogant artist Su Xiaoye once mentioned. No matter who it was, the feeling of being watched by others in the dark made me uncomfortable. I immediately called Assistant Wu. "Young Master Yi Tian? Sister Wu, help me investigate two things." My voice was calm but cold. First, whether there is anyone suspicious tracking me around the Bay No. 5 villa and the neighborhood I visited today. Second, investigate an artist named Song Feng, and the person named Sun Shui of the Sun family. I want to know their activities, especially whether they are related to me. Understood, young master. I will do it immediately. Assistant Wu did not ask another question, simply accepting the order decisively. The Yi family in Macau was not without roots. They had simply always kept a low profile. My cousin Yi Shui had been doing business here for many years, and her underground information network was much stronger than it appeared on the surface. Hanging up the phone, I looked at the sky on the table, my finger gently tapping the frame. No matter who the sender of the painting was or what their purpose was, I had no interest in playing guessing games with them. I picked up the painting, stood up, and walked straight across the street to the art gallery. The employee was visibly surprised to see me return, still holding the sky which had just been sold. "Sir, this painting." Returning it. I placed the painting on the counter. The employee looked awkward. "Sir, I am very sorry, once a piece is sold from our gallery, unless there is a quality issue, it cannot be returned or exchanged. Who bought this painting?" I interrupted, asking directly. The employee hesitated for a moment, seemingly receiving some signal, and then changed his tone. "The boss said that if you don't like it, you can exchange it for any other painting in the gallery." I raised my head and looked up at the stairs leading to the second floor. "Is your boss upstairs?" "The boss, I ignored the employee and walked straight upstairs. "Sir, you can't go up." The employee tried to stop me in panic, but was frozen in place by a single glance from me. The second floor was a combination of a studio and resting area, the air filled with the smell of turpentine and paint. A man in a linen shirt had his back to me, painting at an easel, seemingly not at all surprised to see me come up. "Mr. Yi Tian." Song Feng did not turn his head, his voice carrying a hint of laziness, a characteristic artist's huskiness. "Didn't you like the welcome gift I sent?" It was him, indeed. "Do we know each other?" I stood behind him, my voice cool and detached. Song Feng put down his brush, turned around, and smiled mischievously, his eyes openly scrutinizing my face. "Haven't we just gotten acquainted now? Last night at bar number 2, Mr. Yi caused quite a sensation. Even my arrogant junior sister is interested in you. Did Sun Shui ask you to send it?" No. Song Feng gently shook his finger. "This is purely my personal gesture. I feel that this painting, the sky, suits you very well, cold on the outside but harboring an internal flame capable of burning everything down." He spoke suggestively, his eyes still fixed on me. "I have returned it. Don't play these trivial games anymore. I have no interest in becoming an object of observation for you or anyone else," I said in a cold voice. Song Feng raised an eyebrow, slightly surprised by my bluntness, then smiled even more meaningfully. "Don't be so distant. Macau is small, and the upper-class circle is even smaller. Having a friend is always better than having an enemy, wouldn't you agree? That depends on what kind of friend they are." I turned to leave. "Wait," Song Feng called after me. "If you don't like the painting, then I will change my way of apology. Tonight there is a small-scale private art exhibition. The attendees are all interesting faces from Macau's young elite, including Sun Shui. Interested in coming? Consider it experiencing the real nightlife of Macau." My steps halted. Sun Shui, I was indeed a little curious. Who exactly was this woman who made Shen Yaxin wary, and whom Song Feng specifically mentioned? By attending, perhaps I would soon understand what these people were up to. Time and location. I spoke concisely. A flash of triumph appeared in Song Feng's eyes. He gave an address and a time, 9 p.m. You are invited. I said nothing more, walking straight downstairs. Returning to the Bay No. 5 villa, Assistant Wu was already waiting at the door, her expression somewhat serious. Young master, the investigation is complete. In the old quarter today, there were indeed two groups paying attention to you. One group belongs to the Sun family, likely instructed to record your movements, and currently holds no malice. The other group has a rather complex background. It seems related to a local triad named Shihai. Their motive is unclear. Shihai? I frowned. I had absolutely no impression of that name. An old gang. Although they have declined in recent years, their foundation remains. We are continuing to investigate why they are interested in you. Assistant Wu paused, then continued, as for Song Feng, he and Sun Shui are actually fellow disciples, having studied under the same grandmaster of traditional Chinese painting. But the relationship between them is very subtle. They are both competitors and share a vague understanding. Song Feng is exceptionally talented but acts arrogantly, breaking rules, attracting both praise and criticism in the circle. As for Sun Shui, she is the actual power holder of the Sun family, extremely capable, with a tough demeanor, having almost single-handedly stabilized the family's declining situation. She rarely takes an interest in strangers, so this time is indeed quite unusual. I nodded, already having a general overview in my mind. Sun Shui, investigating me out of vigilance or curiosity, I could understand. But the Shihai triad was difficult to guess. Song Feng's invitation seemed random, but the intention behind it certainly wasn't simple. This pond of Macau is deeper than I thought, I mused, but I'm not worried. Where there are soldiers, there will be generals to block them. Where there is water, there will be land to contain it. At 8:50 p.m., I arrived at a private club halfway up the mountain, following the address Song Feng had sent. The club was hidden among green groves, with a discreet entrance and a thick black iron gate. After giving my name, the gate opened, and inside was another world. The architecture was minimalist modern, with huge floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the magnificent night view of Alpha Port. The space was expansive, displaying art pieces, not noisy like a bar, only featuring melodious jazz. Quite a few people had already arrived, men and women dressed stylishly, gathering in small groups, speaking softly. The atmosphere was elegant yet distant. My appearance attracted quite a few glances. Today I wore a well-tailored black suit, no tie, with a dark gray silk shirt underneath, exuding an air of aloof dignity and cold inapproachability. Song Feng was talking to a woman who had her back to me. Seeing me, he immediately smiled brightly. Yi Tian, you're here. He enthusiastically led me closer. Come here, let me introduce someone to you. The woman turned around. For the first time, I clearly saw Sun Shui's face. She was very beautiful, a cold and imposing beauty. Her skin was fair and smooth, her features exquisitely sculpted, her long eyes held a gaze as deep and cold as an ice sea. She wore a champagne-colored satin long dress, tall and straight, with a powerful aura. Her eyes swept over me, showing no surprise, no warmth, only a sharp scrutiny. Sun Shui. She extended her hand, her voice as cold as her gaze. I shook her hand, her fingertips were slightly cold. Yi Tian. I know. She withdrew her hand, her tone calm. You were quite remarkable at the airport yesterday. Merely coincidence. I think so too. I replied briefly. Song Feng stood next to us, smiling. It seems I don't need to make the introductions after all. Sister Sun, was I wrong? Mr. Yi Tian is indeed special. Sun Shui did not reply, only looking at me. Mr. Yi, you have caused quite a stir since arriving in Macau. I wonder if you are here for leisure, or if you have another purpose. The question was far from polite, carrying a clear sense of probing. I met her cold gaze, slightly curling my lip. I only wanted to find a quiet place. Unfortunately, it seems it's not easy. Sun Shui's eyes flickered slightly, as if hearing the hidden meaning. Macau, it's not too big, not too small. To find peace, sometimes you need strength. Perhaps. I showed no reaction. At this moment, a waiter passed by carrying a tray of drinks. I casually took a glass of champagne, and nodded slightly to Sun Shui and Song Feng. Excuse me. I turned and walked toward the floor-to-ceiling windows, leaving behind a space that appeared harmonious but was rife with undercurrents. I disliked being surrounded and scrutinized by others, especially the kind of scrutiny imbued with the arrogance of the elite. I stood by the window, looking down at the night view of Alpha Port. Not used to occasions like this? A slightly husky female voice sounded beside me. I turned my head. It was the woman who had been standing with Sun Shui. I vaguely remembered her name was Yang Wei, a friend of Tang Yueling as well. I swirled my drink. Yang Wei leaned against the window frame, lit a slim cigarette, took a puff, and exhaled a faint cloud of smoke. Don't mind it. That's just Sister Sun's personality. She manages an entire large family, so she maintains vigilance towards any sudden, uncontrollable element. She paused, looked at me, her voice softer. Especially people like you, we can't find much information, and yet you are clearly not simple. Can't find information? I raised an eyebrow. Yang Wei smiled. Song Feng's connections could only trace your name. Using the Sun family's network, we only found that you are from the mainland, of wealthy background, and recently broke up with the young mistress of the Su family in Chongqing. Delving further, everything becomes vague. Your family background is like being covered by a layer of fog. I took a sip of champagne, saying nothing. The Yi family has been doing business overseas for many years, with vast properties and a complex structure. Although the domestic foundation is not as strong as the overseas one, it is absolutely not of ordinary wealthy status. My father, Yi Zhe, prepared early. Erasing my necessary information was precisely to avoid unnecessary trouble. It seems the effect is not bad. I hold no ill will towards Macau, or towards you all. I looked out the window, my voice faint. I am just a newly graduated student who came here to look for a job. Yang Wei flicked the cigarette ash, speaking indifferently, I hope so. But sometimes, even if you don't want to cause trouble, trouble still finds you. She glanced at me. For example, did the people from Shihai find you today? My gaze turned cold, looking directly at Yang Wei. Your intelligence is truly fast. There are no secrets in Macau. She extinguished the cigarette. Shihai's business hasn't been good lately. They are urgently looking for new sources of funding and backing. They noticed you, probably seeing you as a dragon crossing the river, wanting to see if they can cooperate, or blackmail. I gave a cold snort. They calculated wrong. I know. Yang Wei looked at me, her eyes holding a hint of admiration. But let me remind you of one thing, the boss of Shihai is named Dongpeng, a known gangster, whose methods are dirty. An open attack is easy to avoid, but a hidden arrow is difficult to guard against. Thank you. I nodded slightly. I will remember this favor. No need to be so polite. Yang Wei waved her hand. Consider it thanks for what happened at Yueling's bar yesterday. You helped her clear out those troublesome thugs. While we were talking, the entrance to the party suddenly stirred. Only to see Tang Yueling rush in hurriedly. As soon as she saw Yang Wei and me by the window, her eyes lit up, and she quickly strode over. Wow! Yi Tian! You really came. Today she wore a tank top and ripped jeans, still looking lively, completely ignoring the nature of the occasion. Coming closer, she lowered her voice, her face full of gossip. How was it? Did Sister Sun Coldface question you again? Don't be afraid, she's just a paper tiger. I laughed, looking at her. Yang Wei helplessly tapped her forehead. Yueling, mind your image a little. What image is needed? Tang Yueling didn't care, then leaned in closer, whispering mysteriously, let me tell you some fun news. Hu Ji, the person you taught a lesson yesterday, his boss is Dongpeng of Shihai. I heard Dongpeng found out and is furious, saying he wants to teach you a lesson. Before I could say anything, Yang Wei frowned. Yueling, where did you hear that? I just overheard two of his lackeys talking secretly outside. Tang Yueling pouted. What's there to be afraid of? Yi Tian fights so well, even if Dong Peng comes, he's just handing himself over. I looked at Tang Yueling, and suddenly asked, that Dong Peng, where does he usually operate? She was stunned. He seems to frequent a nightclub called Bei Chen, that's one of his territories. Why are you asking this? I just smiled, not answering. Draining the remaining champagne, I put the glass down, and nodded to Yang Wei and Tang Yueling, I have some matters to attend to. I'll be leaving first. Leaving so soon? Tang Yueling looked disappointed. Yang Wei seemed to have guessed something, watching me with a complex expression, saying nothing. I walked through the crowd, straight to the door. Sun Shuyi and Song Feng were talking to other people. Seeing me leave, Song Feng intended to speak up and stop me, but was restrained by Sun Shuyi's gaze. She watched my tall, decisive figure disappear behind the door. In her cold eyes, a very faint, almost imperceptible ripple flashed. I stepped out of the club. The night wind was slightly cold. Assistant Wu's car silently glided up in front of me like a phantom. I opened the car door and got in. Young master, are we heading back to the villa? I leaned back in the seat, closed my eyes for a few seconds of rest, then opened them, my gaze clear yet cold. No. Go to Bei Chen nightclub. Assistant Wu's hand on the steering wheel froze. She looked at me through the rearview mirror. My face was expressionless, but the coldness made her understand, this was not a request. Young master, the situation at Bei Chen is very complex. Dong Peng's power there is considerable. For you to go alone, drive. I interrupted, my voice not loud but carrying an undeniable finality. Assistant Wu said nothing further, starting the car decisively. As she drove, she quickly spoke softly into her earpiece, clearly mobilizing personnel to guard against contingencies. I looked at the neon lights flashing past outside the window, my eyes cold as ice. I disliked passively waiting for trouble to find me. If I knew the source, I would go there and resolve it completely. Dong Peng, she hi. I wanted to see what kind of people dared to harbor intentions against me. Bei Chen nightclub was located in a famous entertainment district of Macau. The facade was opulent, with a gigantic neon sign that was particularly eye-catching in the night. At the entrance, several security guards in black suits wore earpieces, their watchful eyes scanning the crowd. Assistant Wu's car stopped right in front of the door. I opened the door and got out, adjusted my cuff, and walked straight towards the entrance. Sir, do you have a reservation? A guard stepped forward, intending to stop me. I did not look at him, my steps unbroken. Another, older guard seemed to recognize the Lamborghini and Assistant Wu, his face changing color. He quickly pulled his colleague back and bowed in a gesture of welcome. I walked into the nightclub without obstruction. Deafening music, flashing lights, the air a chaotic mix of cigarette smoke, alcohol, perfume, and lust. On the dance floor, people writhed wildly, while at the tables and private rooms, the scene was different: alcohol, money, laughter, and gazes. My appearance was completely incongruous with the extravagant and licentious atmosphere of the place. My cold demeanor, calm appearance, and expensive suit immediately drew countless stares, curious, scrutinizing, even greedy. Some people recognized me and immediately whispered, isn't that the kid who hit Hu Ji yesterday? Good heavens, daring to come to Brother Peng's territory? This guy must be tired of living. I ignored all gazes, walking through the crowd. My gaze swept once, quickly stopping at a bald man in a floral shirt, wearing a thick gold chain, who was embracing a girl, drinking and bragging at a central table. Hu Ji. It was him, the one I taught a lesson to at the bar last night. I walked straight toward him. Hu Ji was in the middle of talking profusely when he suddenly realized the unusual silence around him. He looked up, and met my eyes squarely. The smile on his face froze. The arm around the girl recoiled as if burned. A flicker of fear flashed in his eyes, but it was quickly masked by false aggression. It's you? Hu Ji suddenly jumped up, roaring hoarsely. Damn it! You dare to come find me here? As he shouted, several surrounding tables immediately stood up as well. 8 tall, fierce-looking men gathered, subtly encircling me in the middle. The music was still playing, but the atmosphere around that area immediately became tense. People on the dance floor also noticed, turning their heads to look. Hey, isn't that Hu Ji? Never seen him, looks like things are about to get interesting. Causing trouble in Brother Peng's territory, he's looking for death. I ignored the lackeys, looked at Hu Ji, my tone calm. Where is Dong Peng? Hu Ji saw his men were numerous, his courage increasing, and sneered, You want to meet our Brother Peng? Who the hell are you? We haven't settled yesterday's score yet, and today you willingly walk into the net. Just as he finished speaking, an irritable lackey beside him couldn't restrain himself and cursed, Damn it. Then he swung the wine bottle on the table, intending to smash it onto my head. My eyes turned cold. I tilted my body to evade, my right hand swiftly grabbing his wrist and powerfully twisting it. Crack. A bone-snapping sound that made people shudder. The lackey screamed miserably, the wine bottle dropped to the ground, shattering. I took the opportunity to land a kick to his abdomen, sending his nearly 100-kilogram body flying out, knocking over several tables. Alcohol and drinks spilled everywhere, screams echoing throughout the nightclub. The action was like poking a hornet's nest. Hit him. Cripple him. Seeing this, the other lackeys roared in unison and charged forward. I did not retreat but advanced, my figure gliding through the crowd like a phantom, my fists and feet absolutely precise. Every strike was clean, ruthless, followed by the successive sounds of bone-breaking and agonizing moans. I used no fancy moves, only practical combat strikes, and I intentionally controlled the force to avoid killing anyone. One man lunged from behind, trying to lock my neck. Without turning, I delivered a back kick to his chest. The man flew backward, slammed hard into the wall, and then slid softly to the floor. Another man swung a dagger toward my flank. Quick as lightning, I grabbed the wrist holding the knife and twisted it back. The dagger fell to the ground, and my knee drove powerfully into his abdomen. The opponent doubled over like a boiled shrimp, collapsing to the floor. In less than a minute, all 7 or 8 charging lackeys were sprawled on the ground, some clutching their arms, others their stomachs, moaning continuously. The entire nightclub was as if a mute button had been pressed. The music had stopped at some point. Everyone looked in horror at me standing in the middle of the floor. My breathing was even, and my hair was still neatly combed. My black suit, stained with a few drops of wine, only amplified my murderous aura. Hu Ji was paralyzed with fear, his face pale, his legs trembling, looking at me as if I were a monster. I took a step closer. Don't come over here. Hu Ji retreated in terror, tripping over a fallen associate, landing abruptly, frantically scrambling backward. Brother Peng. Brother Peng, save me. A coarse, aggressive voice sounded from the second floor. Which bastard dares to cause trouble in my territory? Only to see a middle-aged man wearing a gaudy patterned shirt, with a muscular build and a face full of fleshy fat. Escorted by a group of subordinates who looked more elite, he descended. Around his neck was a gold chain even thicker than Hu Ji's, a cigar was clenched in his mouth, and his eyes were fierce. This was the current boss of Shihai, Dong Peng. He looked at the chaotic scene downstairs, his subordinates sprawled on the floor, his face immediately darkening to the point where it looked like water could drip from it. His gaze finally settled on me, carrying scrutiny and violence. Kid, who are you? Do you know whose territory this is? Dong Peng walked to within a short distance of me, exhaling a cloud of cigar smoke, his voice cold. I calmly looked at him. Yi Tian. Dong Peng repeated the name in his head, confirming he had never heard of it, feeling a bit reassured. It seemed he was not someone from a known rival. Very good. Yi Tian, right? You've injured so many of my brothers, tell me how we should settle this debt? I slightly curled my lip. How to settle it? You sent people to track me, so how should I settle that debt with you? Dong Peng's eyes chilled. He hadn't expected me to be so direct and arrogant. Indeed, he had ordered his men to monitor this dragon crossing the river, to see if they could profit or take advantage of anything. He hadn't expected the opponent not only to discover this but also to come directly to his doorstep, and to be frighteningly strong. It's good for young people to have some capability. Dong Peng narrowed his eyes, a dangerous light flashing, but being too arrogant leads to an early death. Macau is not the place for you to run wild. Today, if you don't leave something behind, don't think about walking out that door. The elite subordinates behind him all stepped forward in unison, their hands already moving behind their backs. Clearly they were carrying weapons. The atmosphere was tense to the extreme, even more dangerous than before. The onlookers were so frightened they dared not breathe loudly, gradually retreating backward, afraid of being caught in the crossfire. I gave a faint smile, a smile that sent shivers down Dong Peng's spine. Leave something behind? I unbuttoned my vest deliberately, took off my jacket, casually placed it on a clean table nearby, and rotated my wrists. Then we'll have to see if you have the capability. Just as the tension reached a critical point, the nightclub's main door was forcefully pushed open. A group of people in black suits walked in, their presence powerful and precise, their steps orderly as if strictly trained. Leading them was a man around 50 years old, with neatly combed hair, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, and a calm demeanor like a butler. The people following him all had sharp eyes and bulging temples, clearly skilled fighters. As soon as this group appeared, the entire atmosphere seemed to freeze. As soon as Dong Peng saw the man with the glasses, his face immediately changed color, his arrogance disappearing, replaced by astonishment and fear. Ling Ba? Why are you here? Dong Peng's voice trembled slightly, difficult to conceal. The man called Ling Ba completely ignored him, his eyes fixed directly on me. He quickly walked over and slightly bowed. Young Master Yi Tian, my apologies, we arrived late. The eldest miss received the news and, worried about you, specifically sent us. The eldest miss. Young Master Yi Tian? As the words were spoken, the entire club fell into dead silence. All eyes focused on me, then looked at Ling Ba, who was bowing respectfully. Anyone with some knowledge of Macau knew, Ling Ba was the chief butler of the Sun family, the right-hand man of Sun Shuyi, representing the face and power of the entire Sun clan. Yet now, he was calling me, young master. What is the true background of this Yi Tian? Dong Peng looked as if he had been struck by lightning, his face pale, cold sweat pouring down. He realized, he had just offended someone whom even the Sun family had to bow to. I looked at Ling Ba, nodding slightly. I apologize for troubling Ling Ba. It's just a small matter, I could have handled it myself. Young master is too kind. Ling Ba replied respectfully. The eldest miss instructed that in Macau, absolutely no one is allowed to disturb your peace. Having said that, he finally turned, his gaze becoming sharp as a knife, staring intently at Dong Peng. Dong Peng, you truly have great audacity. Just one sentence, Dong Peng's legs went soft, nearly kneeling down. Ling Ba, it's a misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding. His voice trembled. I didn't know who this gentleman was. If I had known Mr. Yi was a distinguished guest of the Sun family, even if I had 100 guts, I wouldn't dare. Ling Ba snorted coldly, tracking, surrounding, even planning to use weapons. Has your Shihai lived too comfortably for too long, forgetting the rules of Macau? Dong Peng's sweat poured down like rain, he continuously bowed, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. Ling Ba, I was wrong. Mr. Yi, I was blind and have offended you, please, in your great generosity, forgive me this one time. All of this was caused by this idiot. He fiercely kicked Hu Ji, who was still trembling on the floor. Hurry up and kowtow to apologize to Mr. Yi. Hu Ji was kicked and rolled out, quickly scrambling up and kowtowing repeatedly, Mr. Yi. I was wrong. I'm not a human being. Please forgive me, please forgive me. Dong Peng bowed again, humbling himself to the extreme, Mr. Yi, my subordinate foolishly clashed with you. Name your price, I, Dong Peng, will absolutely not go back on my word. From now on, in Macau, whenever you need Shihai, I, Dong Peng, am just waiting for you to speak. I did not reply, only silently picked up my vest and put it on. My silence was more terrifying than any rebuke. I adjusted my collar, and only then looked up at Dong Peng, my tone still calm. I already said, I only came to find a quiet place. Dong Peng immediately nodded in assurance, understood, understood. Mr. Yi, rest assured, from today onwards, absolutely no one will bother you again. I guarantee it on the honor of Shihai. I nodded, said nothing more, and turned to walk out. Ling Ba's men immediately parted to form a path, respectfully ushering me out. Ling Ba cast a cold glance at Dongpeng, manage your men well, and manage yourself well. The Sun family does not want to see a similar incident happen again. Yes, definitely. Dongpeng bowed and nodded repeatedly, only daring to breathe a sigh of relief once Ling Ba and his men had left. He wiped the sweat from his forehead, still inwardly terrified. He looked at the chaotic scene, his sprawled subordinates, then looked in the direction I had left, his eyes full of fear and relief. Thank goodness the Sun family arrived in time. Thank goodness he hadn't actually made a move just now. The background of this Yi Tian was too terrifying. In the nightclub, everyone watched my receding figure, buzzing with discussion. Their eyes were full of awe and curiosity. After tonight, the name Yi Tian would surely cause a huge stir in Macau's upper-class circle. I stepped out of Beichen, Assistant Wu's car was still waiting. Ling Ba followed behind, respectfully saying, "Young master, the eldest miss asked me to convey her message. The remaining matters, the Sun family will handle cleanly. You do not need to be troubled. Please thank Miss Sun for me. Young master is being too polite." Ling Ba bowed, offering a reserved smile. Travel safely. The car steadily pulled away. I leaned back against the seat, gently closing my eyes. Just this one incident, at least, on the surface, no other ignorant flies would dare to bother me again. The night in Macau also seemed to have become much quieter. I finally woke up the next afternoon. There were a few unread messages on my phone. My cousin, Yi Shui, sent one, "Oh my ancestor. Did you rush to Beichen last night? And manage to suppress Dongpeng? Good job. But don't be so impulsive next time, what if you get hurt?" The Sun family has already spoken, saying they helped deal with it, treating it as a show of goodwill. What do you think? I replied, "Got it, sister. I'll be more careful next time. As for the Sun family, we'll see." Shen Yashin also sent a string of messages, her tone extremely excited. "Brother Tian. Brother Tian. Did you go to Beichen nightclub last night? Oh my god, everyone is talking about you now. They said you single-handedly took on the entire Shihai crew and scared Dongpeng stiff. Even Ling Ba of the Sun family treated you extremely courteously. You are so cool." I only replied briefly, "The rumors are a bit exaggerated." Just as I sent it, an unfamiliar number called. I frowned and pressed the connect button. A cold female voice sounded on the other end. "Yi Tian, it's me, Sun Shui." I took the phone and walked out onto the balcony. The sea breeze blew through, carrying a salty scent and the warmth of the sun. "Miss Sunday," my voice was calm, betraying no emotion. "Did you rest well last night?" Sun Shui's voice was still cold, but lacked some of the initial scrutiny. "Not bad. Ling Ba has handled everything cleanly. There will be no more trouble from Dongpeng's side in the future. Thank you. I know this is the Sun family showing goodwill, but it's only courtesy. No need to be so polite. For such an incident to happen in Macau, the Sun family also bears some responsibility." Sun Shui's voice shifted to a businesslike tone. "I called today because I have something I wish to discuss with you. Please speak. Regarding Song Feng's painting, I apologize on his behalf. He acts impulsively, but held no malice." I listened silently, and she continued, "I heard from CEO Yi Shui that you came to Macau this time looking for something to do?" My eyes flickered slightly. My cousin and Sun Shui have contact. On second thought, it was normal. Yi Shui has been doing business in Macau for many years, so it's not strange for her to have business relations with the Sun family. That is indeed my intention. Sun Shui's voice was steady. The Sun Group recently launched a new project, a high-end cultural tourism sector combined with art investment. We are currently missing someone who can manage the overall operation. I feel you are very suitable. I raised an eyebrow. This was indeed unexpected. Sun Shui directly extended an invitation, and for such an important position. "Miss Sun, we are not exactly close. Are you so reassured to hand over a new project to me just like that?" My voice was slightly teasing. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds, then her voice sounded, still calm. I have reviewed your academic achievements and a few situational analyses you wrote while in North America. Although they were anonymous, the style is very distinct. CEO Yi Shui has also introduced you. Furthermore, your handling of the situation at Beichen last night was highly effective. This project requires precisely that kind of decisiveness and control capability. I understood, this was not entirely Sun Shuyi's idea. My cousin Yi Shui might have subtly pushed it. As for her, after observing and investigating, she made the most logical decision for the family's interests. That's business, interests come first. She saw my value. I need to think it over. I did not agree immediately. Sun Shuyi seemed to have anticipated that reaction. I will have someone send the project materials and plans to your email. After you review them, if you are interested, we can discuss the details further. All right. In addition, Sun Shuyi added, my family is having a small family dinner tonight. My father also wishes to meet you. I wonder if Mr. Yi would do us the honor. An invitation from the head of the Sun family, the level was completely different. It seemed the respect they held for me was even higher than I had imagined. I thought for a moment, then replied, yes. 7 o'clock tonight, I will send a car to pick you up. No need, just send me the address. Sun Shuyi decisively gave the address of the villa in Bay number 5, not far from where I was staying. Hanging up the phone, I looked at the glittering sea, my finger gently tapping the railing. Life in Macau seems to be getting interesting. At 6:50 p.m., I appeared punctually at the gates of the Sun family villa. To call it a villa was perhaps an understatement, it was more like a strictly guarded manor. Tall iron gates, lush greenery, and the architecture inside was a harmonious blend of continental and modern styles. After announcing my name, the iron gate slowly opened. A middle-aged man in a butler uniform was already waiting. It was Ling Ba. Mr. Yi, welcome. Ling Ba offered a reserved smile and led me through the meticulously maintained garden to the living room of the main house. The living room was high and spacious, decorated in a new Chinese style, luxurious yet understated. Expensive antiques and modern art were blended with exquisite harmony. Two people were seated on the sofa, an elderly man wearing a dark Zhongshan suit, his hair neatly combed, his expression refined yet authoritative, with sharp eyes, the patriarch of the Sun family, Sun Feng. The other person was Sun Shuyi. Today she wore an ivory-colored modern qipao, accentuating her perfect figure. She looked less sharp for the business world, with an added touch of classical elegance, but her cool demeanor remained intact. Seeing me enter, Sun Feng put down his teacup, his gaze falling on me, carrying scrutiny, yet not being unpleasant. Sun Shuyi stood up, Father, this is Yi Tian. Yi Tian, this is my father. I stepped forward, neither arrogant nor humble, and nodded slightly, hello, Mr. Sunday. Sun Feng offered a faint smile, pointing to the sofa across from him, Mr. Yi, please sit, don't be polite. I sat down composedly, and a servant immediately served fragrant tea. I have long heard Shuyi and CEO Yi Shui mention you. You are indeed a handsome young man, a talent in the making. Sun Feng's voice was gentle, carrying the manner of a senior, but the authority of the patriarch was still subtly present. Mr. Sun, you flatter me. I replied, my voice humble but not subservient. I heard you haven't been in Macau for long, have you settled in? It's all right. Macau is very beautiful and vibrant. Indeed, Macau is a good place. Sun Feng nodded, then changed his tone, carrying a subtly sharp edge. I heard yesterday, your conversation with Shuyi and the others went well. Regarding that cultural tourism project, what do you think of it? I immediately understood, the core focus of the evening had arrived. I picked up the teacup, gently blew on the foam, my voice calm. I have reviewed the materials Miss Sun sent. The project has great vision, but it also faces no small challenge, especially the integration of high-end resources and the acceptance of the local market. A flash of admiration flickered in Sun Feng's eyes. Neither arrogant nor impatient, yet able to see the core issues right away, this insight was truly rare. Challenges there certainly are, he nodded, his voice deep and calm, which is why it requires a person with capability and decisiveness to lead it. He looked at me. Mr. Yi, are you interested in this position? I did not answer directly but countered with a question. Mr. Sun, allow me to speak frankly. This position is very important, and the Sun family surely has many candidates. Why me? Sun Feng smiled faintly, glancing at Sun Shuyi. Sun Shuyi took over, her voice clear, because this project requires a breakthrough. Within the Sun family or the current upper class in Macau, we can find executors, but it is very difficult to find someone who can break the current deadlock and bring new thinking to the helm. You have a clean background, sufficient ability, and do not belong to any existing power faction. That is your weakness, and also your greatest advantage. I understood. The Sun family wanted to use me as a tool to stir up the high-end market that had been stagnant for a long time in Macau, while also avoiding the constraints of internal factions. I require absolute decision-making authority. I put down the teacup, looking directly at Sun Feng and Sun Shuyi, my gaze calm but carrying undeniable power. Personnel appointments, capital allocation, and the selection of cooperation partners for the project team must be entirely my responsibility. The Sun Group can provide resource support, but must not interfere too deeply. Sun Shuyi slightly frowned, seemingly finding my demands a bit aggressive. Sun Feng, however, burst into hearty laughter, a light of admiration flashing in his eyes. Good. A young man with ambition, I like that. It is not a problem. As long as you agree to take it on, all matters concerning the project will be decided by you. The Sun Group will only be responsible for providing the platform and logistics. Father. Sun Shuyi was a little surprised, looking at him. No need to say more. Sun Feng waved his hand, signaling her to be silent. Mr. Yi, what do you say? I knew this was an opportunity, and also an immense challenge. If successful, I would firmly establish myself in Macau, perhaps even gaining my own influence. If I failed, I might be drawn into a dangerous vortex. But I, Yi Tian, have never been afraid of a challenge. I decisively nodded. I will take on this project. Sun Feng smiled in satisfaction. Good. Then I wish us a pleasant cooperation. He raised his teacup, using tea in place of wine. Sun Shuyi and I also raised our teacups. The 3 teacups lightly touched. A cooperation that could change the dynamics of Macau's high-end market was decided in this seemingly ordinary family dinner. The following days, I became incredibly busy. I officially took office at the Sun Group, serving as both Deputy General Manager of the group and CEO of the newly established 8th Cultural Tourism Company. This news, as soon as it was announced, caused a shockwave in Macau's upper-class circle. The Sun Group appointed a Deputy General Manager barely over 20 years old, who was also from the mainland, to directly manage a project with immense capital investment. Everyone was full of curiosity and suspicion about this abruptly appearing Yi Tian. I ignored all the talk and threw myself into work. Sun Shuyi gave me a lot of autonomy. I was allowed to select the project team myself. I didn't promote too many people from within the Sun Group. Instead, through headhunting firms and the connections of my cousin Yi Shui, I recruited several top experts in cultural tourism and art investment from both home and abroad, forming a lean, international, and efficient team. My decisive work style and sharp, accurate vision quickly quelled those who were initially a bit resistant. During the day, I had meetings, inspected sites, and met partners. At night, I reviewed documents and refined plans. I practically lived at the company. That evening, I was still in the office, reviewing an appraisal report from an art auction house. My phone rang. It was Xiaoya, using yet another new number. I looked at the flashing sequence on the screen, my expression unperturbed, and immediately hung up and blocked the number. During this time, she had changed countless phone numbers to call me, sending a torrent of messages filled with apology, pleading, and even despair. I paid no attention to them. The past was past, everything about her was no longer relevant to me. Just as I finished dealing with that, the internal phone rang. The receptionist's voice, General Manager Yi, Miss Shen Yashin is here to see you. She says she has an appointment. I then remembered that Shen Yashin had tried to schedule meetings a few times before, but I had refused due to my schedule. This afternoon she texted, and I casually mentioned, I'm at the company. I hadn't expected her to actually come. Send her up. A few minutes later, there was a knock on the office door. Come in. Shen Yashin tiptoed in, holding a box of exquisite food. Brother Tian, are you still working overtime? She giggled, placing the food box on the table. I brought you a late-night snack. It's Macau's most famous wonton noodles. Eat it while it's hot. I rubbed my temple. I was indeed a bit hungry, thank you. Why be so formal with me? Shen Yashin naturally sat down in the chair opposite, looking at the mountain of documents, and stuck out her tongue. Wow, are you working this hard? It's all right. I opened the food box, the aroma wafted out. Brother Tian, you're a celebrity in Macau now. She propped her chin on her hand, her eyes sparkling. The deputy general manager of the Sun Group. So many people want to get their foot in the door but can't. You just arrived and jumped into a senior management position, so impressive. I ate the noodles, not replying. She continued to chatter, but you have to be careful, okay? I heard many people are waiting for you to fail, especially Zhang Hui of the Zhang family. He used to pursue Sister Sun, and couldn't even get into the Sun Group. Now that he sees you being appointed, he must be dying of envy. Zhang Hui, I raised an eyebrow. I have a slight impression. A famous playboy in Macau, who relies on his family's money and spends all day. I don't give him a second thought. And one more thing, Shen Yashin lowered her voice. I heard Su Xiaoya has come to Macau. My movement paused slightly, then I continued eating the noodles as usual. She subtly watched my expression. I heard she came through the connections of the Yi Yu family, but it's unclear what exactly she's doing. Shen Yashin. I cut her off, my voice calm. I don't need to hear about her business. She immediately fell silent, obediently nodding, yes, all right. After eating, I looked at the clock. It was quite late. I'll call a driver to take you home. No need, I can take a taxi myself. She hurriedly waved her hand. It's not safe this late. I picked up the internal phone and called the driver. Please escort Miss Shen Yashin home. I stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the dazzling night view of Macau. Su Xiaoya had arrived. It seemed some people were still unwilling to give up. But it doesn't matter. I returned to my desk, picking up the unfinished report. My battlefield is here, and my future is here. The people and events of the past could no longer create any ripple in my heart. 2 weeks later, the group's first key project, the Alpha Port Art Center plan, was officially unveiled, thanks to the tireless efforts of the team I led. The plan combined a high-end hotel, a private museum, an art trading platform, and personalized cultural tourism experiences. The idea was ahead of its time, bold, and groundbreaking. At the Sun Group's internal high-level meeting, I, as the project leader, presented on the giant projection screen. The images were vivid, the data detailed, and the plan coherent. I stood at the podium, tall, straight, confident, and composed. My voice was clear and calm, analyzing every strength, market prospect, profit model, and potential risk. My arguments were clear, the logic tight, and my demeanor was aloof yet captivating. The senior managers of the Sun Group seated below, their initial suspicion and observation gradually shifted to attentive listening. Finally, surprise and recognition appeared in many people's eyes. Even Sun Shuyi, as she coolly watched me shine freely on the podium, a very faint trace of admiration flashed in her eyes. After the presentation, I gave a slight bow. The conference room was silent for a few seconds, then a burst of warm applause erupted. Sun Feng, seated in the chairman's position, wore a satisfied smile and clapped. Very good, a very outstanding plan. He did not hold back his praise. General Manager Yi certainly did not disappoint me. This project will be implemented according to your plan. Thank you for your trust, Chairman Sun, I replied calmly. The meeting concluded. As I left the conference room, Sun Shuyi followed. The plan is very good, she said, walking beside me, her voice still calm, but for her to offer praise was extremely rare. It was a recognition of the entire team's effort. To celebrate this success, there is a celebration dinner tonight. The core members of the project team will all attend, you should come too. Sun Shuyi invited. I had originally intended to refuse, but considering it was a team activity, I nodded, all right. 7 o'clock at the hotel banquet hall. She said, then turned and walked away. I looked at her retreating figure, feeling that this eldest miss of the Sun family seemed to have lost a bit of her coldness, gaining a little more humanity. I shook my head, not dwelling on it, and quickly returned to my office. There was still a pile of work to handle. That evening, the celebration party was held in the banquet hall of a 5-star hotel belonging to the Sun Group. When I arrived, the inside was already lively with the clinking of glasses and a cheerful atmosphere. All the project team members were present, everyone relaxed, raising their glasses to greet me in turn. I accepted a glass of champagne from the server, raised it to everyone. Everyone has worked hard lately. The plan is just the beginning. We must continue to strive in the future. The atmosphere was lively. I moved through the crowd, chatting briefly with a few core members, acknowledging their efforts. Sun Shui also arrived. She had changed into a long, off-the-shoulder blue dress, highlighting her snow-white skin, her coldness now laced with a touch of seduction. Beside her were Song Feng and Yang Wei. Tang Yueling was nowhere to be seen. General Manager Yi, congratulations. Sun Shui approached with her glass. I clinked glasses with her. Song Feng interjected, General Manager Yi is truly making a big move. If this Alpha Port Art Center project succeeds, the art world of Macau will owe you. I smiled faintly, it's just mutually beneficial. Yang Wei stood observing, her eyes mischievous. Just then, a voice cut in, oh, it's quite lively. It seems the Sun Group's new project is highly valued. Everyone turned, seeing a young man in a flashy pink suit, his hair slicked back, approaching with an exaggerated smile but shadowy eyes. Behind him were a few gaudily dressed people. It was Zhang Hui, the person Shen Yaxin had mentioned. Sun Shui's eyebrows slightly furrowed, Song Feng and Yang Wei suppressed their smiles. Mr. Zhang. Sun Shui greeted him, her voice distant. Zhang Hui feigned familiarity, his gaze falling on me with scrutiny and hostility. Shui, why wasn't I invited to the celebration party? That's inconsiderate. Then he winked at me. Is this the Sun Group's newly arrived Deputy General Manager Yi? Young and highly talented, indeed. My expression didn't change. Hello, Zhang Hui. My voice was calm. His words were meant to mock, scrutinize, and provoke. The surroundings were silently watching. Sun Shui was about to speak, but I preempted her, my voice calm yet cold. A small company, not worth mentioning. This remark choked Zhang Hui, his face lost its amusement. He thought I was mocking his reliance on his family. He immediately switched to flattery. Haha, General Manager Yi is too humble. Then he tried to appear generous. I heard the Alpha Port project is very large, involving a lot of land and resources. General Manager Yi is new, perhaps unfamiliar with some connections. Do you need me to help introduce contacts? It would be embarrassing if the project gets stalled. This statement carried a clear, implicit threat. Sun Shui's face darkened. Zhang Hui, mind your words. I smiled looking at Zhang Hui, my eyes slightly pitying. No need to trouble yourself. If I couldn't handle such small matters, Chairman Sun wouldn't let me sit in this position. Conversely, I hear your family's southern real estate project is having trouble. Can the capital still keep up? Zhang Hui's face changed color. His family's southern project was indeed struggling, and it was an internal secret. He pointed at me, his lips trembling, intending to speak, but under my calm, unwavering gaze, he couldn't utter a word. That gaze seemed to penetrate all pretense. You're just talking nonsense, I didn't mean anything. Zhang Hui stammered. I raised my glass, changed the subject, and moved toward the project team. Sun Shui nodded, the matter seemed to have closed. Zhang Hui stood there, his face ashen, and under the mocking glances of those around him, he couldn't stay. He miserably led his group away. Song Feng looked at my back, quietly saying to Yang Wei, this Yi Tian truly doesn't take a loss. Yang Wei smiled, he brought it upon himself. Sun Shui watched my composed handling of the situation, her eyes complex. She realized she had previously underestimated this man. Halfway through the banquet, I felt a bit stuffy. I went out onto the balcony to breathe, the cold night wind clearing the alcohol haze. Just as I was standing there, a careful female voice sounded behind me, trembling, Yi Tian? My body froze. I didn't turn around immediately, that voice was too familiar. Su Xiaoya had found me. I slowly turned back. At the balcony entrance, she was standing, much thinner, wearing a beige windbreaker, her face pale, her eyes red-rimmed. The face that was once radiant now only showed humility, pleading, and deep regret. She looked at me, her lips trembling, tears falling. "Yi Tian, I finally found you." I looked at her, my eyes as calm as if looking at a stranger. "Su Xiaoya, is something wrong?" The sound of my voice was like a knife plunged straight into her heart. She staggered, having to hold onto the door frame to stand steady. "Yi Tian, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Zhu Hao and I have nothing going on. That day at the hospital I only felt pity for him. I won't meet him anymore. Can you forgive me? Can we start over?" Hearing her words, I felt no ripples, only a sense of absurdity. I interrupted her, my voice ice cold. "It has long been over between us, from the moment you chose Zhu Hao and abandoned me, from the moment you allowed those ambiguities to happen. Everything is over." "No, it's not over." Su Xiaoya lunged forward excitedly, trying to grab my hand, but I leaned away to avoid her. She looked at me desperately. "Yi Tian, we were together for 5 years, 5 years. You shielded me from harm, you did so much for me. How can you say, 'I don't want it,' and just leave? You once said you would always dote on me, didn't you?" I looked at her hysterical state, feeling only exhaustion. Doting on her was not a reason for her to blatantly hurt me. My voice held a hint of disgust. "Su Xiaoya, save some dignity for yourself." "Dignity?" "Ha!" Su Xiaoya laughed tragically, as if she had heard a joke. "Without you, what do I need dignity for? Yi Tian, I regret it. I truly regret it. Without you, I can't live anymore." After she finished speaking, her legs gave way, and she knelt down before me. "I beg you, Yi Tian, give me one more chance. Just once, please." I looked at her kneeling on the ground, pleading humbly, and in my mind flashed the image of her smiling radiantly at a picture of Zhu Hao, the image of her lying to me over and over again because of Zhu Hao. The last faint ripple in my heart for the past completely vanished. My voice was not loud, but carried an air of command. "Get up." Su Xiaoya looked up, her eyes brimming with tears, thinking I had softened. But I only said coldly, "You look very undignified like this." That sentence completely shattered Su Xiaoya. She sat slumped on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. The commotion had attracted the attention of people in the banquet hall. Some people peeked out. Sun Shui, Yang Wei, and Song Feng also came out. Seeing Su Xiaoya kneeling on the ground sobbing, while I remained expressionless, Sun Shui frowned. Yang Wei and Song Feng were filled with astonishment. "What's wrong?" Sun Shui walked up beside me, quietly asking, "Is this a private matter?" I said indifferently, not sparing Su Xiaoya a glance, "I'll leave this for you to handle. I'm leaving." Having said that, I walked straight past Su Xiaoya, without the slightest pause. "Yi Tian. Don't go. Yi Tian." Her sobbing voice echoed, but Sun Shui had already signaled the guards to stop her. I stepped into the elevator, pressing the floor button. The elevator doors slowly closed, cutting off all outside noise. Leaning against the elevator wall, I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. When I opened my eyes, my gaze had become clear and cold. The past was completely over. The next day, I went to work as usual, as if the scene from last night had never happened. Sun Shui also did not mention Su Xiaoya, she simply placed a file of new partners on my desk. These are a few international art galleries and funds interested in participating in the Art Center project. Please take a look. All right. I took the documents. Sun Shui looked at my calm, unwavering face, hesitated for a moment, and still began, "The woman yesterday." I looked up at her. Sun Shui met my gaze, swallowed her remaining words, and changed her tone. "Do you need help handling it?" I knew she was referring to making Su Xiaoya disappear from Macau. I shook my head, "No need. She cannot affect me." Sun Shui nodded, said nothing more, and turned to leave the office. I knew Su Xiaoya wouldn't give up so easily. But every action of hers was futile in my eyes. My entire focus was on work. The Alpha Port Art Center project progressed very quickly but also encountered obstacles. Several long-standing local interest groups were hostile toward the newly arrived dragon crossing the river, causing difficulties in obtaining permits and resources. But I had prepared early. I utilized the connections my cousin Yi Shui had accumulated over many years in Macau, coupled with the Sun Group's support, and my own precise business tactics. With undeniable resolve and capability, one obstacle after another was cleared. My competence and ability to control the situation made both Sun Feng and Sun Shui increasingly satisfied. That day, as I was meeting with the team about the details of the art center's groundbreaking ceremony, Assistant Li Wu knocked and entered, his expression serious. "General Manager Yi, there's an emergency situation." I signaled for the meeting to pause and stepped outside. "Young master, there's news from Chongqing." Wu lowered his voice. "Something has happened to the Su family." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh?" "Several key projects of the Su family's business have been successively suspended. The bank is urging debt recovery, the capital chain is broken, and the company is on the verge of bankruptcy. According to investigations, the hand of the younger young master Yi is behind this." The younger young master Yi was my cousin, Yi Gao, who had always been developing overseas markets, his methods sharper and more decisive than my father's. I immediately understood. The Yi family was acting on my behalf, using business tactics to completely crush Su Xiaoya's last pride and reliance. I remained silent for a few seconds, then told Assistant Wu, "I know." Returning to the meeting room, my expression unchanged, I continued to preside as if nothing had happened. A few days later, while I was in the office handling documents, the internal phone rang. The receptionist reported that a girl was insisting on seeing me, sounding very agitated. I frowned, but still told them to send her up. The office door was forcefully pushed open. Su Xiaoya burst in. She looked even more haggard than last time, her eyes swollen, hair disheveled, face pale and exhausted. She clearly knew about the trouble with her father's company. "Yi Tian, was it you? Did you do this?" She rushed to my desk, resting her hands on the surface, staring at me, her eyes full of despair and madness. "If you want revenge, just aim at me. Why drag the company into it? That's my father's life's work." I put down my pen, leaned back in my chair, and calmly looked at her. "Su Xiaoya, do you think I have any need to do that?" Su Xiaoya was stunned. "Making your family bankrupt, what benefit is there for me? Does killing an ant help me earn a single penny, or make my mood better?" This statement hurt Su Xiaoya even more than an admission. Her face turned ashen, and her body trembled. "If not you, then who? The business world is like a battlefield, winner takes all, and failure is normal." I cut her off. "The Su family's current situation has many causes, don't blame everything on others." Su Xiaoya looked at my calm, almost cruel face, her last hope completely shattered. She knew that whether I was responsible or not, I would never help her again, nor would I even grant her a shred of sympathy. She sat down on the ground, murmuring distractedly, "It's over, everything is over." I pressed the internal phone button and ordered, "Escort her out." 2 guards quickly entered, politely but firmly, and escorted the distraught Su Xiaoya away. The office returned to silence. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling window and looked down. Quickly, I saw her being escorted out of the building, standing dazedly amidst the busy traffic, her figure lonely and desperate. My face expressionless, I pulled the curtains shut. Some paths are chosen by oneself, and the price must be paid by oneself. My phone vibrated. It was a text message from my cousin, only 2 words, "Done." I looked at those 2 words, my eyes shifting slightly, and finally replied with 3 words, "Thank you." Placing the phone down, I sat back at my desk and opened the next file. The sunlight outside the window streamed through the gap in the curtains, shining on me, creating dappled streaks of light. My new life in Macau had just begun.